Hello, this is Kristen Teresa Webb, and I have with me Jolyn Ibarra, and we are here to just talk about meditation, which is one of our passions. And so hopefully you will enjoy this little dialogue, and we'll start by just defining what does meditation even mean? So I looked it up, and here's what Google said: to think deeply or focus one's mind for a period of time in silence or with the aid of chanting for religious or spiritual purposes or as a method of relaxation. What do you think about that, Jolyn? Is that what meditation is to you? What is meditation to you?
Yeah, and just to maybe even simplify it even more, prayer is when you have a conversation and you speak to God, like I'm speaking to you. And meditation is when I pause and I listen to what God has to say to me. It's
Wow.
literally just like me and you are doing. We're in conversation, but then I pause when you're talking so I can hear what you have to say.
And
So it
what
kind of just rolls into the scripture in Psalm 46:10 where it says, "Be still, listen, and hear and know that I am God."
Hmm, so good. What gets in the way of us doing that every day, I wonder? Just tuning right into that. What do you think?
Well, just like any like physical exercise, you know, meditation is like an exercise of your inner being that that learns to be still and listen. And then a lot of the fears that lie behind it could be like it's really difficult to be by yourself in quietness because a lot of things surface in some people's lives, aggravations and just things begin to arise, and they just much rather be busy. But it really is time to enter into rest and kind of just begin to look and search your heart. For
Well,
out of your heart flows the issues of life.
that's right. Well, you've touched on a point of what we're going through in the world today. There is so much distraction and so much busyness. People have been practicing meditation for thousands of years, but we have an interesting challenge today of all of the distractions. So it's really fun. Global Sons, we come together and we do some of these hard things, together. It's oftentimes people are sitting in stillness and the trauma is coming up and they're not knowing how to process through these things. I love that we can get together as a group and do that together. So it can be a group experience as well, can it not?
Absolutely. And it really doesn't matter if you're a beginner or eating intermediate or advanced. It just matters that we're just instructed in in the book of John to come together as one, one body, one mind, one purpose, and one heart and one accord to love, to bless the Lord with all of our hearts, our souls, our strength, and all that is innermost, deepest within us.
So good. And we saw Jesus as the example when he was here on the earth. He constantly escaped to go up the mountain and get away and have that alone time with Father. And
Mm.
that's something that we're challenged to do today, but it is truly how we, minister to the soul, is just getting into that quiet and receiving, getting into that receiving mode again, right? Hmm,
Yes, absolutely.
amazing.
And I was thinking, like meditation's not a way of making your mind be quiet. People think, and if I could just make my mind quiet, like that's the goal in meditation, is just to silence the mind. But really it's a way of entering into the quiet that's already there. And what it is it's buried beneath like the 50 to 60,000 thoughts that the average person thinks in every single day. And usually those thoughts are from the thoughts that they thought yesterday. And it's just like this repetitive accumulation of thoughts that you constantly live in. And this is an opportunity for you to get in there and notice what you actually are thinking. Do we ever stop to just think, what are we thinking in a daily? What are our thoughts? And how can we shift those thoughts to a higher frequency and a higher vibration that really matches the frequency of heaven? Because see, the word does say that the kingdom or the kingdom is within and heaven is at hand. So it's like it's right here. We're the temple, the living temple of where he abides, which the word does say that he lives and he moves and he has his being in us. But people are always looking outside of themselves for answers and for solutions to life when the spiritual solutions are right here inside of us.
Right. It sure seems easier to scan and look without, but what are the benefits when you take the time to actually tune in and spend and practice? What are some of those benefits?
Well, number one, the number one most benefit of all is relationship with the divine nature. Really getting to know the divine nature, that DNA, that the divine name that's been written upon our DNA. I mean, his signature, we are marked with his signature. And to come into a special relationship and bond and intimacy with the Father, with the Son, and with the holy breath of God. The holy Ruach is our very breath that we breathe, and he breathed into us his very nature. And so to accumulate his divine nature, his love, his goodness, his mercies, his tenderness, faith, hope, joy, the things that are just, those are the foundations that keep and frame our temple. So that's, to me, the number one benefit of all. And it's to love one another as we love ourselves. So to really love people like it's you, to love you like you are me and I'm you and we are one. That'd be number two. And then there's many, many scientific studies that say that it, because when you're living in the hormones of stress, it's wreaking havoc on your body. I mean, this is why people are in dis-ease, is because of stress and unforgiveness and anger and resentment and bitterness and grief and sorrows and heartbreak. And the list goes on and on and on. But when you contemplate the goodness and the nature of God, then you're able to shift out of the mindset of being a victim in life and moving into the victorious living in the abundant life that he's given unto us.
Wow. So it's a way to lay hold of a much higher perspective and let go of the things that are entangling us in this lower realm. Amazing.
And then when you say untangling, think of a human body that, when you're under stress, it knots you up. You have knots and you really do begin to get untangled because, you carry tension in your muscles and in your tissues with inflammation, with sicknesses. So it really is a way to unwind and to just breathe, and just the inhale is breathing in love, the divine nature, and exhaling out tenses, worries, anxieties, fears, failures, etc., etc.
So breathing can be a part of a meditation practice, it sounds like.
Absolutely. Just being aware that you're breathing in and being aware that you're breathing out. Because when you're being aware of just the breath and you're noticing the air you're breathing in and the air you're breathing out, you instantly land yourself in the present moment. You're not thinking of anything other than I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. And if the more you can practice this with more length of time, the more your body will go into rest and digest and just simply begin to relax. And it gets deeper and it deepens every time that you sit with an intention to come into calm and rest.
Wow. So it sounds like meditation takes some spiritual discipline and some practice to get into that listening mode. So is it worth it? Is it
Oh,
worth
absolutely. Oh my goodness. For me, definitely. Kristen, and for you?
it? Absolutely. Wow. So grateful. Well, and it's the pattern that Jesus showed us when he was on the planet as well. He did so much active ministry, and then he would constantly escape to go and just be with the Father and receive and fill up. And even when he was on the boat and all the storm, the storm was raging all around, he was seemingly in perfect peace, maybe even in a trance-like state, just receiving from heaven. And if Jesus is the pattern of receiving, it seems like that might be a pattern that we need to follow. But it seems like it takes some bravery, which is why I love that at Global Sons we go in and do this together. Now, in the definition, I read that chanting is a part of meditation. And do we use that? And what is the purpose of chanting that you can observe?
Well, to me, just getting into a repetitive chant or a hum or a tone, it it keeps you anchored. It keeps you anchored again, just like the breath, into the present moment. And so while you're making the tones, or you're chanting the name of Yahweh, or holy, 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 then again, we might be using the tones in our voice, but at the same time, see where where again the observer, they're listening under all of those things inside the thoughts. And then that it kind of like settles the water when you're having a tone or a chant. And then that way you're again stepping into a receivership again to hear what is the Lord having to say to me in this day, this hour, for my life, for my call, my purpose, but it also a love exchange. So,
And it seems like there's some surrender involved there, really just the letting go, even letting go of our thoughts and saying, not my thoughts, but your thoughts. It's really such a profound act of surrender, is it not?
surrendering, I just like to think, this is like I surrender and yield and allow, and that I'm a living sacrifice unto you totally, in your service, and to be in a relationship with you. Yes.
Wow. So it seems like a divine exchange. It's like we're exchanging all that we can see and perceive for the more that he has available for us. We're tapping in, tuning in to the more, the direct flow from heaven, from Yahweh himself. But it's a letting go of the former in order to receive the more that's available. Wow. Amazing.
Wow. It is amazing.
So
Mm.
what is the practice? You've been leading the Global Sons for a couple of years now in the practice. And what has that done for you? What is your experience been with the Global Sons group that has participated in the practice?
You know what? It's just what I see is there's such a longing, and there's such an insatiable desire, um, for unity, to really walk this earth and all that Jesus represented for us to walk in. And meditation is just a tool that we can use to really facilitate his presence, because
Oh,
he's he's rising up within the people that are called by his name, and to be all that we've been called to be, to fulfill the book of Isaiah, to heal the brokenhearted, to set people that are held captive free, and that we begin to be the voice and the body as we sacrifice this temple for his glory and for his presence on the earth, to bring, like I said, to bring healing.
wow. Awesome. So if that is something that you're passionate about, come and join us at Global Sons, and we will go in deeper together. We will go into the allowing together and see what Yeshua, what Yahweh has for us next. So we invite you to go deeper with us.
And the one thing that we want to encourage you is, in meditation, there is no judgment. Don't, we don't sit in the seat of the scornful, and we don't sit in the seat of judgment. And in meditation, things will surface, but you just give yourself permission to feel and to allow things to surface. Just look at them. It's kind of like that acronym: allow, label. Maybe you see it as, oh, I've been
Acknowledge,
in worry, and then
label,
let it go.
acknowledge, label, and let it go, right? All acknowledge, label, let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but
yes.
that we can do it together. I know some of this sometimes that's a little scary when there's been trauma. So please, we can go in together, and that's one of the benefits of the Global Sons group and our passion of leading the group into the deeper waters. So come and dive in with us.
Yes, yes. She said, dive in, let's go deep, but then let's go high. Let's
Yes.
ascend. Let's ascend into the holy hill of the Lord. So it'll be fun.
Hi, I'm Nancy. I just want to thank you for joining us today. If you enjoyed what you heard, like and subscribe our YouTube channel. And if you're interested in lengthy, deeper teachings concerning the mysteries of God, contact us at sons.global and partner with us as we become co-workers and co-creators together with God for the establishment of His kingdom and His righteousness in all the earth.